Stop for just a moment, because what you are about to hear may change the way you look at the quiet old man in worn shoes, the grandmother carrying the same handbag for 10 years, or the senior at the grocery store dressed so simply that nobody would ever guess what they truly own. Many people think wealth must announce itself. They expect expensive watches, luxury coats, shiny cars, and clothes that whisper status. But after a person has lived long enough, earned enough, lost enough, trusted enough, and watched human nature closely enough, they may discover a truth the world rarely understands. The wealthiest seniors are often not trying to look rich. They are trying to stay free. This is the hidden truth behind why many wealthy seniors dress like they are broke. It is not always because they are careless. It is not always because they have poor taste. It is not always because they are stuck in the past or too old to enjoy beauty. Sometimes the simple shirt, the plain shoes, the faded jacket, and the old watch are not signs of lack. They are signs of discipline. They are signs of someone who no longer needs strangers to approve of their success. They are signs of someone who has learned that visible wealth can attract invisible problems, and that peace is often protected by appearing ordinary. When you are young, you may believe wealth is something to display because display feels like victory. You want the world to know you made it. You want the relatives who doubted you to see. You want friends, neighbors, and strangers to recognize the distance between where you started and where you arrived. There is a hunger in youth to be seen, especially when life once made you feel small. But age changes the taste of recognition. After 65 or 70, applause becomes less satisfying. Attention becomes heavier. Compliments become questions. Questions become expectations. Expectations become pressure. And suddenly the wise person realizes that being underestimated can be more peaceful than being admired. The first reason wealthy seniors dress simply is that they no longer want to perform for people whose opinions cannot improve their lives. They have already seen how quickly admiration fades. A new suit impresses people for one evening. A luxury handbag becomes old after a season. A watch may attract praise, but praise does not help you sleep better. Shoes may look expensive, but they do not guarantee loyal friends. Clothes can create attention, but attention is not the same as respect. The older soul begins to separate true dignity from decoration. It understands that a person who needs clothing to prove worth is still negotiating with insecurity. This does not mean nice clothing is wrong. There is nothing shameful about dressing well, enjoying quality, or looking elegant. Beauty has its place. Cleanliness has its place. Self-respect has its place. But the hidden truth is motive. The wealthy senior asks, am I wearing this because it serves my comfort and dignity, or because I still want the world to bow before an image? Am I dressing for my life, or for people who do not truly know me? A simple outfit chosen in freedom can contain more dignity than an expensive outfit chosen from fear. The second reason is privacy. Money changes how people approach you. A person may be kind because they are kind, or because they see possibility. A relative may visit because they miss you, or because they are thinking about inheritance. A neighbor may become friendly because they enjoy your company, or because they want access to what they believe you have. The wealthy senior has often learned this through pain. They have seen warmth become calculation. They have seen compliments become requests. They have seen friendship change after money was mentioned. So they stop giving the world clues. A plain coat can be a fence. An old car can be a curtain. Simple shoes can be protection. Not because the wealthy senior is afraid of everyone, but because they are tired of being studied. They want conversations that begin with humanity, not curiosity. They want to know who respects them when there is no visible reward. They want to move through the world without turning every room into a silent appraisal. Dressing simply allows them to watch people clearly. If someone treats them kindly while assuming they have little, that kindness may be more trustworthy. If someone ignores them because they look ordinary, that ignorance reveals character. There is power in being underestimated. The world often exposes itself when it thinks you have nothing to offer. Salespeople become impatient. Relatives become honest. Strangers reveal their manners. Friends reveal whether they care about your presence or your image. A wealthy senior in modest clothing becomes invisible to opportunists and visible to the rare people who value substance. The wise person does not have to show every card simply because others are curious. The third reason they dress like they are broke is that they remember what it costs to build what they have. Younger people sometimes see wealth as a number. The senior remembers it as years. Years of waking early. Years of saying no to unnecessary spending. Years of choosing repair over replacement. Years of buying quality only when necessary. Years of enduring markets, layoffs, illness, inflation, family needs, emergencies, and disappointments. Every saved dollar may carry a memory of discipline. Every investment may carry a story of patience. Every account may represent comfort delayed. When wealth has been built slowly, waste feels different. It is not only money leaving. It is time leaving again. A person who worked 40 or 50 years may look at a luxury jacket and see not only the price, but the hours of life that price represents. They may ask, will this truly make my final years better? Will it protect my health, increase my peace, help someone responsibly, or simply decorate my ego for a few moments? Often, the answer is clear. The simple sweater is enough. The old shoes still work. The coat is warm. The watch tells time. The car starts. The home is safe. Enough becomes a beautiful word when you have spent a lifetime learning what excess secretly costs. This is why wealthy seniors may repair what others replace. They may keep clothing for many years. They may buy from ordinary stores. They may choose comfort over brand names. They may avoid trends that seem designed to make people dissatisfied with what still serves them. To the outside world, this may look like being cheap. But cheapness is fear of spending even when spending is wise. Frugality is respect for resources. The wealthy senior may spend generously on health, safety, family needs, quiet charity, or quality items that truly matter. But they refuse to spend merely to impress people who will forget by tomorrow. The fourth reason is that simplicity protects family relationships from entitlement. The more prosperous you appear, the more some people begin imagining claims on your resources. Adult children may ask for help more easily. Grandchildren may expect gifts. Relatives may assume you can cover emergencies. People may say, you can afford it, as if affordability alone creates obligation. The senior may love deeply, but love does not erase the need for boundaries. Looking modest can reduce the number of hands reaching toward your pocket before the conversation even begins. Many elders have learned that money is safest when it is quiet. Not hidden irresponsibly, not disorganized, not secret from the right legal and financial arrangements, but quiet. There is no need to make the family constantly aware of how much exists. There is no need to dress in a way that invites constant assumptions. There is no need to turn yourself into a walking reminder of future inheritance. The wise senior wants to be visited as a person, not evaluated as an estate. This is one of the loneliest truths of wealth in old age. You may love your family and still need protection from their expectations. You may want to give and still need to prevent dependence. You may have enough and still fear that visible wealth will make people treat your final years like a waiting room before distribution. Dressing simply becomes one small way of saying, see me, not my assets. Come for my company, not my capacity. Love me while I am breathing, not only for what may be transferred after I am gone. The fifth reason wealthy seniors dress simply is that comfort becomes more important than impression. After 70, the body has its own wisdom. Tight shoes, heavy fabrics, stiff collars, complicated outfits, and uncomfortable accessories may no longer feel worth the praise they receive. The body asks for softness, warmth, ease, balance, safety, and freedom of movement. A senior may choose the same comfortable jacket not because they cannot buy better, but because that jacket knows their shoulders. They may choose practical shoes because stability matters more than elegance. They may choose simple clothing because the day is hard enough without dressing for a performance. This is not decline. This is adaptation. A wise person listens when the body speaks. The young may suffer discomfort for style because they are still bargaining with appearance. The older person may have learned that a peaceful body is more valuable than an impressed stranger. If a shirt feels good, if shoes prevent pain, if clothing is easy to wash, easy to wear, and allows the person to move with confidence, then it has served its purpose. The dignity of age is not in pretending the body has not changed. It is in honoring the body without shame. The sixth reason is that wealthy seniors often find joy in control, not display. Many of them know exactly what they own, what they spend, what they need, and what they refuse to waste. Their simple clothing is part of a larger philosophy. They live below their means because it gives them power. Power to say no. Power to leave bad situations. Power to pay medical bills. Power to help discreetly. Power to avoid debt. Power to sleep. Power to make decisions without begging. The world sees poverty. The senior feels the freedom behind that shirt and thinks peace. There is a kind of quiet wealth that does not sparkle. It is the wealth of not being desperate. The wealth of not owing everyone. The wealth of not needing applause. The wealth of knowing that emergencies can be handled. The wealth of being able to give without announcing it. The wealth of buying ordinary groceries without anxiety. The wealth of staying in your home because your past discipline built a fence around your independence. This kind of wealth does not require a designer label. In fact, the label may disturb it by inviting the wrong attention. The seventh reason is that they have learned the difference between looking rich and being rich. Many people who look rich are owned by payments, image, debt, comparison, and fear of falling behind. Their closets are full, but their peace is empty. Their car shines, but their finances tremble. Their social image is polished, but their private life is anxious. The wealthy senior has seen this too many times to be impressed by surfaces. They know that the person wearing old clothes may own the building, while the person dressed like a king may be one emergency away from panic. This understanding creates humility. Not false humility, where someone pretends to be small while secretly wanting praise for being modest. Real humility. The kind that no longer needs to announce its position. The kind that says, I know what I have, and that is enough. I do not need the room to know. I do not need the neighbor to guess. I do not need my relatives to calculate. I do not need strangers to admire. I have already made peace with my own effort. There is also a spiritual dimension to simple dress. Age brings a closer awareness that everything material is temporary. The closet will one day be emptied. The jewelry will one day be divided, sold, stored, or forgotten. The body wearing the clothing will one day return to dust. This awareness can make vanity feel strangely heavy. Not because beauty is meaningless, but because beauty without wisdom becomes distraction. The older person may begin asking, what part of me will remain in the memories of others? Will it be the price of my coat, or the kindness in my voice? Will it be my watch, or my patience? Will it be my shoes, or the way I treated people who had nothing to give me? A wealthy senior who dresses simply may be practicing this truth every day. They may be reminding themselves that identity is not fabric, leather, gold, or brand. Identity is character repeated until it becomes visible in ordinary actions. To choose simplicity when you could choose display is a form of inner training. It says, my ego will not be fed today. My worth will not be outsourced today. My peace will not be traded for admiration today. Of course, not every senior who dresses simply is wealthy, and not every wealthy senior dresses simply. Human beings are different. Some enjoy elegance with grace. Some express creativity through clothing. Some dress formally because it honors their values. There is nothing wrong with that. The hidden truth is not that all expensive dress is foolish. The hidden truth is that the wisest wealthy seniors are free from needing dress to carry their worth. Whether they wear a fine suit or a faded sweater, the power is the same. They are not controlled by the gaze of others. If you are over 60 and you have resources, ask yourself honestly. How much of what I buy is for comfort, usefulness, and joy? How much is for proving? How much is for old insecurity? How much is because I am afraid of looking ordinary? How much is because I want certain people to know I succeeded? These questions may feel uncomfortable, but they can save enormous peace. At this stage of life, you do not need to keep paying an emotional tax to impress people who are not responsible for your soul. And if you see an older person dressed modestly, be careful with your assumptions. The plain shirt may cover a lifetime of disciplined choices. The old shoes may carry a person who could buy new ones easily but chooses not to waste. The simple handbag may belong to someone who has funded educations, helped quietly, given to charity, cared for a sick spouse, or built a life with patience most people will never see. Do not confuse quiet with empty. Do not confuse ordinary appearance with ordinary wisdom. There is a lesson here for everyone, not only the wealthy. The older you become, the more dangerous it is to live for appearance. Appearance is a hungry master. It always asks for newer, better, brighter, more impressive. It never says enough. But the soul needs enough. The body needs enough. The final chapters of life need enough. Enough clothing. Enough shelter. Enough money protected. Enough people who love you without spectacle. Enough peace to enjoy a morning without checking whether the world is impressed. Here at Stoic Beacon, we believe true wealth in later life is not the ability to display more. It is the ability to need less from display. It is the freedom to walk into a room without asking the room to validate you. It is the wisdom to protect privacy, reduce envy, avoid entitlement, honor the body, control spending, and remember that character shines longer than expensive fabric. The wealthy senior who dresses like they are broke may not be broke at all. They may be richer than the loudest person in the room because they have escaped the need to be seen as rich. This is the hidden truth. Simple dress can be armor. It can be privacy. It can be discipline. It can be comfort. It can be a quiet refusal to become a servant of other people's eyes. The world may underestimate such a person, but perhaps being underestimated is exactly what keeps their peace intact. They do not need attention to feel successful. They do not need envy to feel important. They do not need relatives counting their possessions. They do not need strangers measuring their worth by labels. One day, the expensive clothes, the brands, the applause, and the comparisons will all lose their voice. What will remain is how you lived, how you treated people, how much peace you protected, and whether your wealth served your soul or your ego. If your clothing is simple but your conscience is calm, you are not behind. If your shoes are ordinary but your life is free from desperate performance, you are not poor. If your appearance is modest but your heart has learned contentment, you have achieved something many wealthy people never find. So dress with dignity, not insecurity. Spend with intention, not performance. Keep your privacy without becoming cold. Enjoy what is good without becoming owned by it. Let your clothing serve your body, your values, and your peace. And never forget that the richest people are not always the ones who look expensive. Sometimes they are the quiet seniors in plain clothes, walking slowly through the world with enough money to impress everyone and enough wisdom not to try. Thank you for spending this time with Stoic Beacon. May your later years be guided by simplicity, privacy, humility, and quiet strength. May you stop dressing for people who only see surfaces and begin living for the peace that comes when your worth no longer needs decoration. And may you remember that true wealth does not always shine. Sometimes it sits calmly behind an old jacket, a simple pair of shoes, and a soul that has finally learned the power of enough.